I welcome you all to the series of Mahabharat, and in that context, we are making a new series. Okay, we are in progress of completing a series on world history, the concepts of world history. Until now, we have discussed different, different concepts like the Mesopotamian civilization, the Roman Empire, and in that context, in the next topic which we are going to discuss today, we will talk about the rise of Islam. The rise of Islam, which is a very important concept in the world history topics. So, first of all, we will try to know about the origin of Islam, and we will, we will try to have an introduction. We will try to have an introduction of, origin of Islam, its spread over different parts of the world, and many different things. How different formations or what were the different, different aspects related to the Islamic world. Now, in this context, it is very important to know that when we talk about the Islamic world, we don't have a narrow concept of, we can't say that we are discussing about a single religion. Okay, in an overall view, we will try to discuss each and every effect of the Islamic religion, or the different, the different effects which were seen on the communities related to the Islamic places, or you can say the Islamic, the communities which were directly or indirectly related to the Islamic world also faced certain changes coming into contact with Islam. So that we will have a look on, and we will try to analyze the facts, that what happened before Islam, or what was the changes that we see after Islam. So Islam, basically you can say it's a religion which came into origin about 1500 years ago in the Arabian Peninsula. Okay, in the Arabian Peninsula. Now, if we see today, there are more than one Arab Muslim people in different places of the world. Okay, they live differently, they wear differently, they eat differently. There are different cultures which they practice. There are different, different forms of Islam in different places. Okay, but when we talk about the traces of origin of Islam, they have a common history. Okay, so we will try to analyze that thing. So Islam came into existence in the Arabian Peninsula, and as we always say that there are different sources to know about something. Okay, when we study history, we talk about sources. So there are different sources which tell us about Islam. Okay, like we have the chronicles. Okay, like we have the biographies which are known as Sirah. Okay, the commentaries, you can say that deeds and the sayings of Pagambar Muhammad, or the Prophet Muhammad, which is known as Hadith, the commentaries on Quran. Okay, these are different, historical works which help us to have an understanding about the Islamic, Islamic religion, or the Islamic world. Also, we have some other things like different documentaries. Okay, different, imperial orders, from the use of numismatics. We also come to know about Islam. Now, when we talk about that, when and where did the writing about Islam originated, or the history of Islam, the history writing of Islam came into existence? So there is a great role of German historians and the historians of Netherlands in this process. Also, some of the colonial historians from Britain and France tried to search different facts or different things related to Islam. Also, this the history writing of the Orientalist approach. Okay, the Orientalist approach of history writing was also influenced by these historians. So there are different aspects, there are different, different sources from where we come to know about the rise of Islam. So when we talk about Islam, we talk about Prophet Muhammad. So Prophet Muhammad belonged to, he was also Arabic. Okay, he was also Arabic, and he belonged to the Arabian Peninsula. So Prophet Muhammad from 612 AD to 600, you can say 32 AD, he tried to create, you can say, a community of people who had common beliefs and practices, which was known as Ummah. A common group with common practices and beliefs. In this context, it is very important to know that when Prophet Muhammad, so Prophet Muhammad was a chief of a tribal clan of the Arabian Peninsula. Most of the Arabian people were divided into clans with their leaders who were known as Sheikh, and so was Prophet Muhammad. He was also a, you can say, he was also a chief of a tribe called Quraysh, which belonged to Makkah. Makkah was a place in between the trade route of Yemen and Syria. And different Arabic people had their different gods and goddesses which they worshipped in a shrine in form of idols, and so did Prophet Muhammad also in Makkah. So Makkah was a place, Makkah was also a cubical structure, a shrine where gods and goddesses were, you can say, worshipped. But in 612 AD, Prophet Muhammad tried to change the concept, and he said that he is a messenger of God or Allah, and we have to worship only one and one God, who is Allah, and who nobody has seen. Nobody has seen. I am a messenger of God and we have to worship. What is the shape of Allah? What is the structure of Allah? We don't have to go into it. But I am a messenger of God, a messenger of Allah, and we have to worship Allah. Now, what was the different ways in which you have to worship them, or what were the rituals which you have to practice to become to come into, you can say, to come into the boundaries of Islam? So he introduced, you can say, he said that you have to do fasting. You don't have to steal. You don't have to do, you can say, practices which are opposed to the Islamic principles. So you have moral behavior. These all things you have to practice. Also, before the changing of the concept of worship of God also, Makkah was a place of religious belief, and many different Arabic tribes out of Makkah, they had a faith in the, you can say, shrine of Makkah, and they came there annually as a pilgrimage, which was known as Hajj. So from now on, what happened? It is not so usual, or it is not so easy to establish a new form of religion or new form of practice in an orthodox society. Now the orthodoxy led in the noble class or the aristocratic class who opposed the beliefs of Prophet Muhammad and said that this is not the way God has to be worshipped, and they were annoyed about the practices which Prophet Muhammad was spreading. So they forced him to go out of Makkah, and Prophet Muhammad went to Medina, and you can say the fleeing away of Prophet Muhammad from Makkah to Medina, this is known as Hijri. And from here on, we can trace the development or the origin of the lunar calendar of Islam, which is known as Hijri Samvat. Now when Prophet Muhammad was forced to flee from Makkah to Medina, he did not give up his, you can say, his belief, or for what he was working, to develop a community of common believers, or the Ummah. So he tried to bring more and more people into the boundaries of Islam. For this, he established, you can say, a political structure he tried to give some economic strength to the people with whom he was living, the community. Okay. So for this, we will see different, you can say different practices. Like he also said, he also introduced the practice of fast. Okay. And he said that he tried to give them, you can say, agricultural, the share from the agricultural practices on which the communities survived. Also, he also tried to create, you can say, create a group of people with whom he could bring more and more areas under the influence of Islam. And when he did these things, when the communities also survived on the share which they looted. Okay. Now with his army, what happened was that Prophet Muhammad once again gained control over Makkah. Okay. So once again he gained the control over Makkah, and now the idols from Makkah were removed because during the prayer they had to face in that direction. Okay, the Islamic people had to face in that direction to worship. So the idols from the Makkah were removed. Now what we see is that Prophet Muhammad proclaimed himself as a more strong, you can say, leader, okay, of the Islamic world. He already said that he was the messenger of Allah. So from here on we see that Islam as a religion, you can say, Islam as a religion originated. But what happened afterwards was that in 632 AD, now before that we will try to also say that what was the things that were said to the Islamic people to come into this to practice this religion, was that they will be given salvation on the day of judgment. Okay. They did not have to do, you can say, malpractices like drinking. You can say they had to follow truth. Okay, they had to have some moral strength, moral characteristics. So these are the things which were the theory of universal brotherhood, which is very relatable to Islam. These all things were introduced so that more and more people would be fascinated to come into this religion. Now what happened was, when in 632 AD Prophet Muhammad died, so after that there was a you can say there was instability among different tribes. Okay, instability among different tribes, and some of the tribes which came into the you can say came into the boundaries of Islam, they broke away themselves and they claimed themselves to be independent. Okay, the tribes which earlier came into the you can say in the boundaries of Islam, they tried to break away. Okay, so now what happened in these situations? Who would be the next leader after Prophet Muhammad was a question. But Abu Bakr, he claimed to have a close relationship with Prophet Muhammad, and he declared himself as a natural heir. Not we can't say natural heir, but the next successor of Prophet Muhammad, not being a messenger of God now, but to spread the teachings of Prophet and to hold the Ummah or the community of common believers. Abu Bakr claimed himself as the next leader, and from here on came a post of Caliph, the head of the Islamic religion of the world. So when the post of Caliph came, so Abu Bakr, then the second Caliph Umar, third Caliph Uthman, fourth Caliph Ali. These were the caliphs which regularly succeeded one after another and brought about many changes in the Islamic practices and the Islamic world. When they came into existence, they tried to bring more and more areas in their existence. The concept of Jizya or Zakat on the non-Muslims, okay, this was introduced by different during the reigns of different you can say different caliphs. Also, when we hear about the dhimmis, the protected people were called dhimmis. Okay, so these concepts came into existence. But what is the main thing that we see, that before you can say like we see what was the, you can say, who was more powerful, which tribe was more powerful, or which tribe had more control over the caliph position, or what were the different groups, who were the different groups who came into the Islamic, you can say, Islamic boundaries even after the death of Prophet Muhammad, and what was their status. We have to look at this. Now what happened was that after the death of you can say Prophet Muhammad, when Abu Bakr was the, you can say, caliph, he died. Then came Umar, he did many different things. Now came Uthman. Uthman was also from Quraysh tribe, which was common to that of Prophet Muhammad. But what happened was that many other tribes had came into the Islamic boundaries, and they also tried to have control over this, due to which there was a strife, or there was a you can say there was a civil war. During this struggle, during this strife, Uthman was killed by his you can say by his opposition. Okay, Uthman was killed by his opposition. Then came Ali. Okay, so Ali tried to take control over many different parts of the, you can say, the empire. This was the time when during the when we say that many different areas were brought under the control of Islam. We talk about the areas of the Roman civilization and talk about the areas of the Sassanid Empire. These were the two most powerful empires during that time. But we have discussed in the earlier lectures that there was a time when the Roman Empire was facing struggle or instability. And this instability and the clash between the Sassanid and the Roman gave a chance to the Arabian people to annex these places. And so the Arabian kingdom, or the you can say the Islamic world, became more and more powerful. Now we also see that during different times, we will also see that Ali was also killed by his you can say his opposers. Okay, who opposed the concept of concepts or the practices proposed by Ali. He was killed by them. Ali was also killed by them. So during this position, we see that being an infant religion or a new religion, okay, to continue for a long period of time, there needed to have some stability in the Islamic world. But this was a time when we all see that it may have happened that Islam would have disintegrated, or it would have completely been destroyed. It would have happened. But from here on comes a more powerful dynasty, which again consolidated the Islamic empire, which is known as the Umayyad Vansh, the Umayyad dynasty. So this is a brief introduction about the Islamic origin, the different you can say the civil war, the different practices of Islam. And from here on, we will try to continue in the next lecture about the Umayyad dynasty, the different aspects, the different socio-cultural religious aspects of Islam. Okay, the more you can say we will try to connect some of the different facts, like the rise of Caliph and its effect even in the 20th century during the Khilafat movement. Okay, so these are the things which we will try to connect, and we will have an overview about these in the coming lectures. Till then, thank you and keep studying, work hard.
Thank you.
अथ श्री महाभारत कथा।